everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you.
Hey, that's my line! Anyways, here's my first run in the very hard forest dungeon. And the main thing to note is that you will need to farm this dungeon many times in order to get all the drops to upgrade Mew's Little Glitter specialized weapon. As well, you'll need to fight for the uninspiring axes, and those drop every 5 runs in. So apparently, when you do enough runs, a mushroom will just drop it off at the beginning of that run. And that was shared from one of my subscribers here. So thank you very much. In this map, there will be the same thing as usual. There will be 2 horrors in maps 1 and 2, and then nothing in 3, and then finally the boss at the end. So, since you finished all 6 chapters, you know that this is vulnerable to fire. So again, make sure you do have some fire type characters in your team. So I did bring Seti and Garyu. The problem with all these different mushrooms is that each color is vulnerable to one element and resistant to another. But I figured with my normal team of Annabelle, Leclerc, Garyu, Seti, and Suzette, we have a good coverage of all the different types. Also, make sure you bring a good 5-star healer if possible. If you don't have Mario, of course, bring a 4-star. Make sure you have a healer that removes status, because not only the mobs, but the actual boss itself has lots and lots of status effects. So the mobs are all level 65, so similar difficulty to regular Miglance Castle. Nothing too difficult if you do have a team of 5 stars. Also, this is similar to other lands where you're hoping for shiny mobs. In this case, it's called a shiny conid, so it'll be a shiny red mushroom basically. And if you are able to find it, I'm assuming it's a 1% chance per battle, just like other lands rarities. Make sure you have an AF bar charged so that you can hit it with an AF before it runs off. So my recommendations is always to fight the 5 random battle mobs first in areas 1 and 2, and then fight the horror. And if you bring a good fire type team, you'll be able to just beat it without using AFs. And that way you'll have a half bar AF charge at all times. Now the problem in area 3 is that you won't have any other way to charge the AF. So keep that in mind if you do run into those shiny mobs, to keep your AF bar powered up. And the best way to do that is to use just physical single attacks. Try not to use AoEs or massive fire or specialized attacks unless it's against weakness, because if you just use AoEs, it doesn't land as many hits and it kills off the mobs too quickly for your AF bar to charge. Okay, so area 1 is done. So there's another horror, which we'll take down as well. My recommendation is always to take down as many horrors in one run as possible. Just saves you time from going back if you need to farm certain mobs and drops. So again, whenever there's 3 of those red ones, I tend to use Seti's Retro's Gifts, which is a medium fire AoE. Doesn't use too much mana, and therefore pretty efficient in killing. Another thing to remember for all very hard dungeons, especially those that have AF requirements for shiny mobs and so on and so forth, is to make sure you rotate your characters from front to back and so on and so forth, thereby reserving and conserving your MP, recharging it. There you go! There is a shiny mob. Let's take it down with an AF. Nice and easy, especially with Seti in the ground. Sweet!
Stop flexing, Dad.
So there you go, the first golden mushroom drop of the day. And you can see it's called the Alarmed Conid, so similar to the alarmed shiny mobs in the other lands. I don't mind this particular twist in the another dungeon, but it is very annoying when you'll need to farm a bunch of those to upgrade Little Glitter to the highest levels. On the other hand, this is much easier content than other lands, so that's nice in that sense as well. So second horror here, similar to last time. Note the status effects that I have mentioned in earlier on. So I'm just gonna beat it down. Physical attacks, regular attacks only. I mean, no AF attacks. You can see just with Explosion and Seti's Blaze Impact, I'm almost at a half bar already. And the HP bar of the boss is not that high. So I'm just going to continue hitting it with its weakness. Notice I'm using the Tri-Assault to land fire debuff on the boss. This is one of the few times I actually bring Seti into another dungeon. I don't really use him often. Maybe it's because I just haven't found a way to use him properly, or that there aren't that many dungeons where he is an absolute requirement. But in this case, he's a welcome addition since, again, I don't have Xion or any of the other cool characters. That's the problem of being free to play. You don't have access to absolutely everybody. Okay, second horror is done. Nice and easy. Now to kill off the rest of the mobs in this area. So, just like all other another dungeons, 5 groups of mobs per area. So for a total of 15 battles. Again, pretty standard stuff here. Rotate a couple characters into the back to conserve. I only brought Annabelle in here for the first time because since I haven't played this area before, I don't know what to expect. But most likely, I will probably replace Annabelle with a zombie or another 5-star character depending on who the boss is. I suspect it's a similar boss to the Chapter 6 boss, but we'll take a look at that time. And if that's the case, a zombie will wipe the floor with them, speaking that the flower is weak to Slash. So her triple XL will kill the boss very, very easily. Okay, Area 3. So this is similar to Chapter 5 where it was dark. Alright, another Alarmed Conid. Let's take it down with an AF. So, luckily I do have an AF bar charged. We're gonna get 2 shinies in one run. That is freaking amazing.
Seriously, Dad, stop flexing.
Alright, 2 golden mushrooms. I know there is a trick where people can fight horrors, not defeat them, and reset the battle, and so forth to collect shiny mobs and increase the chance of running into shiny mobs. I'm not a big fan of that. That takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. And again, unless you are playing all day long, there is no need to do something like that. I do find Another Eden takes up a lot of time in general, so I can't see that being an efficient way of farming. So again, you can see in the third area only, there are those blue mushrooms, which is in Chapter 5. And I assume that the drops from those blue mushrooms will be a lot harder to farm than the previous 2. I would equate that to the mobs in Xenodomain very hard, and in Riftbreaker very hard, where they only show up in Area 3. So it's really important to kill off all groups of mobs before moving on. I know you can speedrun things, and I do speedrun Miglance Castle very hard when I'm farming all those light and so on and so forth. But being that we need each and every material, especially in the first few runs, I recommend killing everything. Unfortunately, no blue mushroom here. So you can see so far, being that they're only level 65, I haven't had the need to use any food. Okay, all mobs are done and we're on to the boss. So let's take a look and see if the boss is very similar to Chapter 6. Boo-hoo, no chant script. Okay, so Queen Bibliovore is the boss in Chapter 6 that is now in this dungeon as well. So again, next time, recommend to bring Azami or some other sword / users. So keep in mind that the boss does have a lot of status effects and it has a prevention of dropping HP at the first mark, which is 30%. So don't use your AF right off the bat. At least defeat it to pass that before dropping the HP. So luckily I have Annabelle. She is a sword user. Again, only one single hit, but I might as well use her single physical debuff with the Deliverance Sword, dealing some non-elemental damage. So now I have a full AF bar. There's no need to hold back since there are no more shiny mobs to fight. So I'm going to just unleash on it. So you can see it's a little bit different from the last boss. I believe the Chapter 6 boss had an HP guard at 30% where you weren't able to AF your way all the way down. But it looks like this one does not have that. So a little bit surprised about that. I didn't pull back Suzette and Leclerc to activate the Valor chants more efficiently. So I'll probably do that in future runs. This was more of an experiment to see how difficult or easy the boss is. Apparently, it also guards against magic, so I would recommend bringing all physical attack type characters. Alright, so this is a light dungeon. We have 120 light on our team. Let's see what we get. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.